Hi, my name is Václav, and today we are going to look at what to expect when you are going to be fundraising money for your business, right? So let's imagine you have a great product, great story behind it, and one day you decide, hey, I need more money, or I want more money to build a bigger business. I keep reading about all these guys, raising tens of millions of dollars, and I'm here struggling with, a couple $1,000 or euros of my budget. I can't compete. Right? So this is why you need external capital. I'm not saying it's a must today, or you cannot make a business without investors, but if you want to compete on a global market and you want to build a company that's producing, tens of millions or even more of dollars or euros a year, then chances of you making it without partners, investors, and external capital are very slim, right? So in this argument, we're looking at the entire business, and those couple of percent of people or businesses that make it without external amount of money, they happen, but this is not the case, right? So in general, you need other people's money basically to compete on a global level. If we can agree on that, and that's the direction you want to take, because at the same time, you do have to understand when you take other people's money, even if it's not a debt and you don't have to pay back, there is a certain level of stress associated with it. And you don't want to spend it on dumb stuff in your business that's not working, because that can, damage your reputation, your relationships, but even more so, you lose your opportunity, right? And may not be another one. So you want to make sure that you do everything right. A lot of people don't really know what to expect, how difficult it is, how long it takes, if you should hire an advisor maybe. So listen, if you do it on your own without anyone's help, it's possible. It may take you very long because it will be a marathon where you will be testing a lot of different tactics. You will be trying different approaches, different pitch decks, talking to different people, going to different conferences, right? If you are, for example, part of our community where we advise you to do a sprint, right? So do prepare for it and then do a 2-month sprint where that's the time we advise, for you to actually devote to just fundraising, because it's a full-time job. And I know you might be saying, oh, I don't have time for it. Well, make the time. There's just no other way to do it. No one is going to do it for you. So you have to figure out how to find a time. It will probably, it may be an unpopular idea, but it will probably not take you 2 meetings with 2 investors. It will probably mean that you will have to approach, 50 investors on LinkedIn email, probably send 2 emails each. And then if you can get 10 meetings, then out of those 10 meetings, 1 or 2 will actually become an investor. Now we are talking pre-seed and seed. It's always a little different than when you're raising a huge round, Series A, Series B, and C. Oftentimes you'll have the contacts. There will be bigger data rooms, bigger due diligence. Let's not talk about it, right? So let's assume you're pre-seed and seed, which means you have your MVP. You're making 10 to 50K, a month. If you're going the route of meeting with angel investors, emailing venture capital groups, maybe you throw in a couple of conferences. I mean, you don't have to. You can do it from the comfort of your home, your laptop, or maybe if you're in a startup city, you just go and meet with the investors face to face. Well, you should expect that it will take about a week or 2 when you reach out to actually get that meeting with the investor. It will probably take you a month and a half to actually finalize, the deal, to negotiate the term sheet and get the deal. So I would always expect, I would never expect less than 3 or 4 weeks. And it does sometimes happen that it's longer than 2 months, right? So you should probably have, when you start fundraising, you should probably have 2 to 6 months of money in the bank that you can survive your business on. If you're running out and you run out in 1 week, like you're risking that, and most likely your business is going to die if you only have like 1 week left, because it will take a miracle for that to change. And if you borrow money from the bank, and then in due diligence investors find out that like you owe 100 grand to the bank, like there's going to be such a red flag. Not only that if you haven't told them, but second is that they don't want to pay your debt with their money. Right? So you should always have, like, let's say 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months of money in the bank. If you have 3, 4 months, it's good. If you have less, it will be very stressful and you may come as desperate. And if you have more than 6 months, it's a good idea to build relationships, but fundraising is probably not the number one focus right now. Right? This is important because if you're raising, let's say, 1.5 years of runway in this ticket, then after a year, you should slowly start preparing for the next round. And this is just a reality that, having a startup, having like accountability to investors and wanting to go the startup and VC route means you're constantly fundraising. Your entire lifelong business journey that you will be doing this, you will always be fundraising. So you want to prepare for it. Right? So one thing is how much money you need, we've covered that. And second thing is how much time you will actually need. So if you're a part of our community, you will not need to do a lot of like test and trial. You don't need to hire any advisors. And with the templates and with the advice, it will probably take you about a month, to prepare and secure all the meetings, and then probably 1 month or maximum of 2 months to actually, from the day one of the meeting, to get the final deals and sign it and get the money to your bank account. You should probably account for about 3-4 hours a day. Now this is important because you will be working on your deck, you will be approaching investors, you will do a lot of like research and analysis, reading, you will do a lot of meetings, you may have some travel time in the city, you might even throw in a conference if you can afford to spend the time and money, and if you find a good one, to get some more meetings. So this is something that you should expect. And if your first reaction is like, I don't have the time of that amount of money or time, then what do you want me to tell you? Like, it's not going to happen. Like this, it's not a miracle. It's like a business. It needs to be strategy focused, and this is what you need. You need to have some capital in the bank to survive, and you need to put daily effort into making it happen. If you are part of a community that's helping you and is making sure that you know what you do every single day, it's going to extremely speed up the process. If you don't, then it can take 6-8 months before you build your right pitch deck on your own, maybe from my videos. If you do all the contacts, then you start emailing them, you get some rejections, it will be a marathon. So regardless what you choose, if you choose to do it alone as a marathon or quickly as a sprint, always make sure that you have your expectations right, and that means it's not going to happen on week 1. But hey, a lot of people have done it, I've done it, other people have done it, so it's definitely possible to raise good amount of money on good terms at a reasonable amount of time. So let us know in the comments if you're fundraising this year, what's your strategy, what's your business, and what are the areas that you need help. If you're in the community, you can reach out on Discord. If you're not, feel free to message or put it in the comments. Like, I want to know, and I want to hear like what's your plan on getting the money from the investors, right? So thanks for watching and let me know.